This is a TDB podcast. So I was scrolling on TikTok, just the usual deep fried content you see. Deep fried meaning loud, obnoxious, broken,
Oh no! It's broken!
2021 humor. But then something caught my eye. Or someone. And they're pretty hard to miss if you've ever touched TikTok. No, I wasn't getting one of those TikTok crushes you hear kids giggling about. It was someone whose energy reached out to me through the screen itself. I thought it was going to be another one of those caption joke TikToks with music over it, due to the way it was formatted with those black letters over the white background, but it was much, much more than that. I remember it was something about colonizers stripping the indigenous of their way, and then it cut to them rebuilding teepees from scratch. Those short few seconds had so many layers of talent, effort, and emotion. It was astonishing, really. So I clicked on his profile, and this is when the rabbit hole of his content really kicked in. Cultural dances in public, audio of indigenous music atop his videos, the clean transitions from normal clothes to cultural with just a swing of his foot to all the indigenous related comedy. He's crazy good at what he does, and he doesn't fail to teach while still amusing his audience. You're probably wondering who this is. Well, it's none other than the Notorious Cree, James Jones.
How is everybody doing today?
James is active primarily on his TikTok and Instagram, but he's made a good amount of appearances on other platforms such as YouTube. He's been featured in a plethora of places: the Crimson Coast Dance Society, NA and Hope, Crazy Horse Memorial Foundation, and much, much more.
Hi everybody, my name is James Jones. I am from, like Sean was saying, I am Cree from Northern Alberta, Canada. And the thing about the Cree is we actually have our own name for ourselves. That name was given to us by the French. And we have our own name. We call ourselves the Nachiao. Can you guys say Nachiao? Nachiao. What that means is the people of four directions. And the reason we call ourselves that is because where we're located, we had various trade routes with many different First Nations and just contacts with people from all directions. So we call ourselves the Nachiao, people of the four directions.
That clip was taken from Living Earth 2019, where he performed a hoop dance much like the ones we see on his TikTok page, but this time done live, atop a stage, in front of many people. A few weeks ago, my English class took interest in a Juno Award-winning band known as A Tribe Called Red, or what is known as now as the Hallucination. They have a blend of hip-hop, reggae, Moombahton,
Jody and Rebecca, woman get busy. Just shake that booty non-stop when the beat drop. Just keep swinging it.
and dubstep-esque electronic music, all mixed together with cultural First Nations throat singing and drum circles. James is currently on tour with them, hoop dancing professionally, as he does. James has been across Europe, China, Australia, and North America. He's been places, and his message never failed to follow. His complete and utter passion for the art of hoop dancing has led him to be ranked among the 5 top hoop dancers globally, not nationally among the plethora of indigenous in Canada, but globally, like the entirety of the world. Taken directly from his website, I quote, more or less paraphrased, some of James' most notable performances include the 2006 World Ski Cup Championship in Italy, 2010 Vancouver Olympics, 2014 Juno Awards, 2015 Pan Am Games, the 2015 Coachella Music Festival, and the 2015 Sydney Opera House. James has worked with artists such as KOS and Snoop Dogg, end quote. Okay, we've spoken about a good few things he's done, but what's his deal? How did he blow up so quickly? Well, let's start with his native background. Like he mentioned up in the previous clip, He's from the Cree tribe in northern Alberta, Canada, or how they say, Nehiao. I apologize to any Indigenous people, or James Jones himself, for the butcher of that name. 34 years old, with the face and the moves of a young buck, around the age of maybe, give or take 21. James has been bringing Indigenous style and dancing to TikTok ever since January of 2020. He blew up mid-quarantine, right in the thick of things, which really did warm us all up in those difficult times. Transitioning into the whole new normal. Or whole new normal now, right? James didn't have the slightest bit of a clue that he'd even blow up on social media, let alone thinking anything would have come of it. He thought he was too old for the app, but he couldn't have been farther from the truth. He mentioned to Flair, a fashion magazine, how he was, and I quote, kind of reluctant to get on TikTok for a while because the app kind of gave an air of, oh, it's for younger people, end quote. Fortunately, after being inspired by other Indigenous comedies on social media, he decided, why the hell not? And to our benefit, he joined the app. He wanted to do his own thing, and he personally thought he was a funny guy, just like the content he enjoyed viewing. Well, he definitely was right. He started off with simple comedic videos, which didn't gain much traction at first. But when he decided to take part in the Blinding Lights Challenge, the song written by The Weeknd, he gained a lot of positive feedback. Everything went uphill from there. But it wasn't just those people standing, carefree in front of a camera out in public, making those hand movements that seem much more like fight or flight responses rather than dancing. He used the regalia along with hoops and just had a blast. It was authentic entertainment, a goldmine of it. He made make-believe butterfly wings out of hoops, which showed off his genuine talent. Despite all that, he keeps his social media appearance limited from the entirety of his culture and personal life. He doesn't give his audience absolutely everything. He keeps some of his Indigenous culture to himself, but he does spread knowledge of certain dances and the meaning of his regalia. His goal for all Canadian people and whoever touches upon his art is solely to show them how beautiful, diverse, and special Indigenous culture is. Fashion magazine mentions how, and I quote, the sad truth is that a large portion of settler Canadians don't know much about Indigenous culture and people, whether it's due to lack of Indigenous history taught in Canadian schools or purposeful naivete, end quote. Canada has a long way to go to reconciliation. I saw a comment somewhere on YouTube where they said that it goes to show a lot how Indigenous people are seeking reconciliation rather than revenge, despite all the terrible things done to them and the blatant ignorance modern-day Canadians and the like have in respects to the Indigenous. People like the Notorious Cree seek to teach and entertain in beautiful art forms as well as speech with absolutely no violence. Fortunately, Canada is recognizing this, as it should. Courses like NBE Contemporary Indigenous Voices are mandatory for high school students such as myself, and it's doing wonders in shining light on the Indigenous story, as well as free advertisement for social media influencers like James. This episode was recorded in a cozy little bedroom up in Richmond Hill, Ontario by yours truly, Yago Pertella, and I just wanted to thank you for tuning in today, listening to me ramble on and practically fanboy over Notorious Cree. It was written by me, directed by me, edited by me, and starred by none other than me. This has been The Dubious Bench with its sole staff member, and I'll see you next episode.